Let's talk about how to play lead sheets using some hymns from the Musician's Hymnal, previously called the Simple Hymnal. Of course, I have the hardbound edition, which I really like, but then I also have the spiral-bound edition for more versatility, easier laying flat. Let's start with It Is Well. So It Is Well has a few chords. I see B flat, F, E flat. I see a G minor, a C, an F sus. Let's figure out what to do. First of all, the formula is this. You take the name of the chord and you make that your lowest note. I see a B flat here. And then you go up 4 half steps and 3 half steps, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So I discovered D and F. So now I have B flat, D, F. There. When peace like a... And now we have F. So let's follow the formula. F, we start there, and then we count up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So there it is, F, A, C. When peace like a river. Now we have E flat. So the formula is E flat, start there, count up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So there's our E flat chord. We already know the F, and we already know the B flat from before. So the first line sounds like this. When peace like a river attendeth my way. So this is the basics of how to sing over lead sheet. Now the other thing to keep in mind is whenever you see a little M, that simply means minor. So instead of saying G, and you'd find your B and D, you have a little tiny M, which means it's the minor chord. That just means you invert your formula. You look at the first letter here, the chord name, and find it, just like before. But now instead of 4 half steps and 3 half steps, we're going to do 3 half steps and 4 half steps, like this. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So you invert the formula whenever you see the little M. Sorrows like... C major, so starting with C, we count up 4 and 3. C billows. And then we have F, roll. But we have F sus. The sus simply means you take that middle note, move it up 1 half step, roll. And then I see F there. So there's the F sus, and there's the F. So those are the basics of how to read through a lead sheet, major and minor, and sus. Now what you can do is add the bass note. So all you have to do is take the name of the chord and drop it down 1 octave or 2 octaves below where your chord is. So if we build our B flat right here, like we talked about before, I'll put it in one hand, and I'll take the B flat note and just drop it down an octave. There's your cello or your bass guitar. When peace like a, remember our F chord, river, E flat, tendeth my way. When, G minor, sorrows like sea billows. Here's the F in the bass, here's the F chord, and then I made it a sus, roll. Okay, so those are the basics. And remember, the beauty of video is you can always go back and re-listen to what I said to try to understand it a little better. Now, what we can do is establish rhythm. We want to establish rhythm so the band or the congregation knows where we are. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll. What did I do? I simply played my chord names in the bass as whole notes, meaning 4 beats. Peace like a river attendeth my way. I played the changes whenever I saw them, and I held them for the whole measure, unless they changed within the measure. So I just held them out long. The right hand, I play my chord, but I played half notes. Peace like a river attendeth my way. When sorrows like sea billows roll. See that? So that's an easy way to lead your congregation or to just sing along and enjoy these hymns by playing simply like this. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows. You can potentially stop here, successfully play through this entire hymnal, or play any song that you love in the way that I just described. Okay? But let's add a few more things. Oh, by the way, I snuck in the pedal. If you could notice, I was playing pedal like this. See how the notes ring out? That's me using the pedal. And basically the idea is when you play a new bass note, it springs your foot up, down to catch the new chord. Up, down. Up, down. Up, down. Okay, but that's pedal technique. I'm not going to get too much into that here. Now let's talk about other ways. The second most important thing to talk about is what we call chord inversions. So instead of hopping around like this, when peace like a you see how my hand went from here all the way to the F chord? Now instead of doing that, if we go down to our F chord, you see this F down here? Here's our B flat chord, and here's our F. Here's our B flat chord. Instead of playing the F like this with the F down here, notice that I already have an F. So I'll just leave the F there and move these two notes down to here, which makes up the A and the C from our F chord. So watch this. When peace like a river. You see that? Much easier and much smoother, what we call voice leading. So you can apply that principle to all the chords. Once you get really comfortable with what three chords you're supposed to be playing, for example with the E flat, G, B flat. Now watch this. Here's my B flat chord that I start the song with. We've already talked about achieving a simpler F like this, because we didn't have to move our pinky, minimal wrist movement. Now where's the closest E flat? Well, I need an E flat, I need a G, and a B flat. So I could just go like this. You see how my middle finger was already there ready for it? I also could have just come down here because I have an E flat, G, B flat. That's all I need. See the E flat, G, B flat. There's lots of ways to achieve the E flat chord. Well, there's two that are simple. And then to come back to the B flat. See, E flat is here, but E flat already has a B flat in it. So I don't need to go very far. I can just move these two notes here, and I arrive back home at my B flat, what we call root position, the root home base position chord. So voice leading is another way to upgrade your lead sheet reading, chord playing, chord chunking skills. And the last thing we'll talk about for this video is how to spice things up just a little bit more. Instead of just chord chunking, when peace like a river attendeth my way. That's nice, but we could do this. Come up with some kind of pattern in the right hand like this. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll. That's another option. The other way is to do something probably a little more simple. I should have started with it. Take the chord and simply split it between top and bottom and go back and forth like this. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll. See that? I'm just rocking back and forth like this. So that is a lot to work with. So my suggestion to finish up this video, open up to your favorite hymn and first apply the learning the chords thing where we said find the root note, B flat, count up 4 half steps and 3 half steps for your major chords, and of course say G minor, we count up 3 half steps and 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, to get our minor chords. Figure out the chords and play them in root position first to get familiar with the chords. Play through the hymn and sing it just like this. When peace like a river. Keep it very simple. And then chunk the chords for a solid rhythm as you get comfortable with your chords. When peace like a river attendeth my way. And then practice good voice leading. When peace like a river attendeth my way. Practice good voice leading. And then, finally, practice this. Splitting the chord in two. Top two and bottom one, like this. When peace like a river. And these are now quarter notes, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And those give the song a little more energy and a little more forward movement. All right, hope that was helpful.